You're listening to The Pete Sheppard Show.
It's good to be back.
The 2025 AP Coach of the Year is Mike Verba. Mike Verba is busy preparing for the Super Bowl.
Way to go, NFL. Great job. Mike Verba, Coach of the Year. I don't know who that is. Maybe Angel does. But that's how we're leading off the show because that's the kind of day it's going to be. Welcome, everybody, to the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Digital Network. How's everybody doing on the Friday before the Super Bowl? It's been a couple of weeks since we last spoke. Spoke right before the Patriots beat Denver in the AFC Championship game a couple of weeks ago. We're going to break it all down for you logically and in a fun way. Let's get it going, everybody. So nice to be back with all of you here on the Pete Sheppard Show on the Coastal Sports Digital Network. I told you I would do shows when I can, and I can do it today. So it's great doing the show on Friday and being with you as we get ready to dissect and analyze all things Super Bowl 60. There's a lot I have to do to get off my chest the last couple of weeks, including the Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft ridiculous snubbing, the MVP voting last night. Angel might be a little more upset about it than I am, but I'm just wondering how some of these voters, the way they voted, especially the person who voted for Justin Herbert as MVP, which I do not understand that at all. But anyway, we got lots to discuss here in the Coastal Sports Digital Network across our awesome video platform. Now, I'm not sure what Facebook pages are on because I know mine isn't showing up, but we have other outlets on Twitter, on X, I think on a couple of other Facebook pages. We'll get to Angel in a second. On CSD in Florida, on Rumble, Kick, YouTube. That's probably the best way to watch, or on my Twitter feed on Twitter X. Follow me at PShep326. I think it's on Instagram now, and I think it's on one of the LinkedIn accounts, or you can call or text the show 727-858-6650. Boy, do I not miss this shit. You know, the technical part of it seems to fluctuate and change every time we do this, but we're going to get through it. There's going to be a lot of fun today. Probably somewhere between an hour and a half show. Going to play as much sound and some video. And right away, we welcome in Angel Martinez. Oh, let us not forget that the equipment truck has arrived today at Hammond Stadium for the Minnesota Twins, 5 miles from me. And 2 miles from me the other day, a very dramatic moment as the equipment truck came in for the Red Sox. That's JetBlue down the street from me. Yay. Yay. Anyway, NBA trade deadline. I don't give a crap. I don't care. I don't care. Your Sixers lost a tough one last night against the Lakers. Your Flyers lost a tough last one too. But anyway, we digress. This is going to be all about the Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. And of course, this unbelievable moment last night as they were handing out the awards.
The 2025 AP Coach of the Year is Mike Verba. Mike Verba is busy preparing for the Super Bowl.
Mike Verba, baby. Who is that person? I don't know who that is. I probably should know, but I don't. Do you know who that is?
The voice is kind of sounding familiar, but I think if I'll look it up now.
I got the video. We'll play it afterwards. But it's just absolutely hysterical. Why would the NFL? In fact, Angel, if you want to punch it up, let's play it.
Oh, Tiffany. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why is it not spelled out phonetically? She's reading off a tablet. Why aren't all these names spelled out phonetically? I don't get it. Or at least you go over the process pre. Don't just stick somebody out there that has no idea about football. Obviously, she doesn't. Yeah, so watch this live. This was last night, I think on NBC, I believe.
The 2025 AP Coach of the Year is Mike Verba. Brian Verbal is busy preparing for the Super Bowl, but he sent this message, y'all.
Which I'll play. We have the message. I have the video of the message as well. But holy sweet baby Jesus! Who is that angel?
That's Tiffany Haddish, actress, comedian, or actor, because they don't, I guess, call them actress anymore. Tiffany Haddish. She's actually like a really good comedian. She's half black, half Jewish, and really funny. But
She's half green and yellow. That's going to go down. That's like, if she's a comedian, she'll be goofing on herself for the rest of her life. I mean, it's just, and I don't blame her. I blame the NFL for not putting it spelled phonetically. It's a good thing. Imagine if it was Nigba at wide receiver. Imagine if it was Husmanzada back in the day, or a really tough name.
yeah. No, it would be. It's the same way. I mean, there's how many names that are out there. Even Puka Nakua, when he first started, a couple of times people kept screwing up that one. Giambis, the Greek freak. So yeah, it is tough.
Well, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, yes. I mean, I used to spell it out phonetically.
Yeah,
all the time.
Well, they don't do it. Yeah, and the whole thing. Yeah, and if she has a tablet, they should put it on there. But I don't understand it either. Why do you went with a tablet? I guess maybe the teleprompter was on. And that's the backup.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I didn't watch it live. I don't watch any of these things. But Angel, first of all, good morning, and how are you? It's been a couple of weeks. Last show we did was on January 23rd. Here we are, February 6th already. It's much warmer now, and today's probably going to be the coldest day down here in Southwest Florida, with temperatures not a cloud in the sky, but only in the low to mid 60s, and the rest of the weekend, beautiful in the 70s. As it should be. But my God, first time ever earlier this week, when it stayed below like 50 for 3 days in a row, I had to turn the heat on. First time in almost 10 years now in Southwest Florida, whether I was living in Bonita Springs or the last few years here in Fort Myers, had to turn the heat on. It was like me and like the thermostat was kryptonite. I didn't want to do it. I did not want to do it. And by turning it on, I mean turning it up to like 63 degrees.
Right.
And I had to do it. So the heat stayed on for like a day. But God, it killed me to do it. It killed me to do it. But you guys were even worse up there. Did you get flurries in Tampa? I'm in Fort Myers. Angel, if you don't know, is in Tampa.
I don't ever want to hear any of the local newscasters around here ever say, I can't wait to get cold, because be careful what you wish for. We've had nights, we've woken up 17, 16, 18, 22, and it is freaking cold. The flowers are shot. The grass is like, bro, I ain't coming back until next year. You can forget about it. Even the cranes were knocking on the door saying, listen, I know we're furry and we got feathers and all, but it's too damn cold out here. It's been ridiculous.
We had bunnies come up to our back lanai. You've been to my house.
Yeah.
The back lanai. We had bunnies literally come out, and I have a sensor light right next to my back door now on the ground. It kept going off between the bunnies and the birds, and God only knows what other creatures are out there looking to get it. But they would have come if the door was open. They would have just come right in. It was unbelievable. Now I know. Being last week, I got to speak at my high school, Bishop Hendricken High School. It was an honor to be there at a engaging event with a bunch of great kids, and it was like an interview session. Each person speaking from a different background, myself, and others in business and whatever you did. And the kids, we each got 3 kids for 20 minutes. It was fantastic. When we interviewed them, it was really, really cool. They had resumes of what they had accomplished academically and athletically and all that stuff. It was really, really fantastic. What was not fantastic was the weather, even though the sun was out. And I got there, I stayed Thursday and I came home Sunday afternoon. The temperature on Thursday the high was 17 degrees. So I didn't get there till about after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, after I checked into my hotel, got the car and all that stuff. But Monday morning, when I had to go, which was about 15 minutes from my hotel to my high school in Warwick, Rhode Island, to speak, the temperature was 1. The wind chill was negative 10. I never thought I would be one of those people from New England that would come down here and live in Florida, and I was just I can go back and it'll never affect me. I can't do it. I was angry the whole time. First of all, to warm up your car takes 15 minutes.
Yep.
And it's 0 degrees in the morning. And I had an automatic starter. What am I going to do? I'm not going to start it from my hotel. What am I going to do? But I had to sit in the car for 15 minutes before I could even. I didn't have gloves, didn't have a hat, because I know we're going to be driving a whole heck of a lot. But nevertheless, the cold was outrageous. I mean, this cold like we have in Southwest Florida, which is crazy in itself, where it was in the 30s here in Fort Myers, at 40s and 50s for a lot of last week. But it's not zero. -10 wind chill, -17. The Midwest even worse. There were places in Wisconsin, Minnesota, it was -47. I have cousins that live in South Dakota. I don't know how they do it, but they do it as well. So, but anyway, it was. I'm done with that, and it looks like we're done here in Southwest Florida with that. It's back to normal, basically, 60s and 70s, as it should be this time of year. But
We should be here in Tampa. This supposedly last night was supposed to be the last night in the 30s and the 20s, waking up with this nonsense. But you know how we have the falling iguanas when it gets really cold down here?
Yeah.
They were falling senior citizens. That's how cold it was in this area. It's ridiculous.
They're going to hibernation mode.
Yep. Right there at Walmart, just stopping their tracks. That's it.
I think Amy Schumer, comedian, once described it looked like a shriveled up raisin. Anyway, yeah. So man, it and you can't. It's just so weird. So were you at the? I forgot. I know you've been busy. All this. I forgot. Were you at the Tampa Bay? Were you at the
Stadium Series
Lightning Bruins game by chance?
No, I had unfortunately I didn't get the opportunity to be where I actually wanted to be, so I ended up watching it. My sister-in-law and her husband ended up going. He said it was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, it was unbelievable. The 64,000 people. First of all, the weather was perfect. They couldn't have asked for. We're talking. I think it was 37 degrees at the opening faceoff, which is like. If you had told me that, because we talked about this game for the last 6 months coming up, I was like, is the ice going to be okay? Is it going to be melt? No, that is probably the most perfect ice. The game was phenomenal, except for my Bruins blowing a 5-1 lead and Tampa Bay coming back with the biggest comeback. The fight, the goalies, and then the goalies hugging it out at the end of the game. I mean, it had everything. It had all the drama. It was absolutely perfect. A little controversy at the end with the slash on Pasternak, but anyway. And I know Sean McDonough was going, they should have blown it dead. They should have blown it dead. And Ferraro as well. I went back and watched this. They were trying to blow it dead. And I'm sure if it was in an indoor stadium, you couldn't. You saw the ref. He had his hand up for a penalty, whether you agree with it or not. But he's blowing the whistle. You couldn't hear it. It didn't come across the television. I was sitting there blowing the whistle. But anyway, it was a great experience. I'm glad your family had 64,000 plus. It was a great time, great atmosphere. I know people that went and covered the event said it was fantastic.
Yeah, they said it was the most watched Stadium Series ever at 2.5 million viewers tuning in. And they said, I think it was like 2.1 stayed tuned basically after the first 10 minutes of the game. They stayed tuned throughout. So that was great. And Cooper, by the way, hats off to him. He put on a fantastic outfit that was keyboard inspired. So that was great.
Yeah, I mean, he looked like somebody coming out of Scarface. I forget the guy, not Al Pacino, but the other guy that wore the white suit a lot. And that, not Manny, the other guy, the smaller guy. Anyway, it was all good. I loved it. It was great stuff. What else before we start getting into this football stuff? What else? Let's see. So we made fun of Tiffany Haddish. She's the one who mispronounced Mike Vrabel's name, although I don't blame her. I blame the NFL. The NFL is so precise, so they try to be doing things. And then, this happens, and it's like big-time egg all over your face. Hey, Jerry in Rhode Island, good morning. Missed you. So much is going on. And no Pete's take. Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, I could sit and do a whole show on the ridiculous and the hatred of fucknuts like Bill Polian and others who are in that group of just absolute patriot hatred. So am I completely surprised? No. The fact that, Tony Dungy, who's such a fraud in so many ways, went on Radio Row, wouldn't say we voted for. You know, it's all hatred for the Patriots. That's all it is. And you can bring up a spy, and you still got, even this morning, people on national radio still talking about the Patriots taping signals from the Rams Super Bowl or the practices, which never happened. It's ridiculous. John Tomasi, who did the story, admit it was wrong. He lost his job because of it, or very soon afterwards. I worked with John on the radio. You know, I like John. But I remember when all that crap was going on. And this was during the 2007 Super Bowl when we were in Phoenix, the undefeated Patriots year before the unfortunate incident against the Giants. And I remember him coming up the escalator, and myself and my producer, Andy Masswell, were going down to the meeting room. He's coming up, and he had a big smirk on his face. And I went, John, you better be careful on this one. And it came back to, they're still talking about Spygate. The Jets did it first, okay? The Jets did it first. Yes, the Patriots did. Yes. All Spygate was the Patriots were up above. They were taping here when they were only allowed to tape there. It is so fucking overrated. It's ridiculous. We all know what Deflategate was and the Wells Report, the biggest waste of money all time. Anyway, we could do it. I don't want to revisit any of that because it's been rehashed over and over again. And the haters are going to hate. And the old saying, you hate us because you ain't us, is absolutely true. You know, and they can suck it, all those people. Because it's just absolute hatred. It clouds their judgment. And they become disillusioned. Or you're never going to change people like Bill Polian's mind, who's always been an a-hole against the Patriots. Sorry. And they got their own issues. But I've always said this, and even after Deflate, all that stuff, you want to go back and see the teams that have been fined the most, go look at the San Francisco 49ers and the Denver Broncos over the last 25 years. Go look it up and see all the violations that those teams have that nobody ever brings up. Anyway, that aside, it's a disgrace. Even people who are not, you know, Patriot reporters or whatever, even the Stephen A. Smiths of the world and others in the national media have said what a disgrace it is overall that Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft did not get into the Hall of Fame. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's embarrassing to the NFL, and it's unfortunate. But obviously they'll get in next year. This is Bill Polian's way at influencing of how he got other people to listen to him. It makes no sense to me. As far as the MVP voting last night, it doesn't bother me. What bothers me, Drake may lost the MVP voting slightly to Matthew Stafford. And congratulations to Matthew Stafford. I got no problem with Matthew Stafford winning. What I have a problem is he got one more first place vote than Drake May did. And I just want to make it official here. So there were. Hang on, I got the numbers right here. Give me 1 second. And then we'll get to the congratulations to the people who did make the Hall of Fame. God almighty. Hold on. Anyway, it was 24-23, I think, first place votes. And the two other first place votes, two of them went to Josh Allen, which I have no problem with. What I have a problem with is the other first place vote went to Justin Herbert, quarterback of the Chargers. That's ridiculous. I don't know who did that, but that is obscene. If you wanted to give it to Josh Allen, I got no problem with that. And again, this is all based on regular season. There's still a lot of people out there that think the playoffs don't matter. It's what happened in the regular season. I know people like Mina Kimes and a lot of other national people voted for Drake May. I got no problem with that. I don't know who the numbnut was that voted for Justin Herbert, but you should have your revoked. The Hall of Fame class for 2026. Congratulations to Adam Vinatieri, long overdue. Not long overdue, but I'm glad he's in. Luke Kuechly, great linebacker for Boston College and a great pro, Carolina Panthers and whatnot. Larry Fitzgerald, obviously. Drew Brees and Roger Craig. The problem I have is, and Bob Papa, the voice of the Giants, brought this up in a tweet. He said, help me understand this. Bill Belichick, Kenny Anderson, great quarterback for the Bengals, Roger Craig, L.C. Greenwood, and Robert Kraft were all lumped in one type of group. Voters could only vote for 3, and only 1 of the 5 got the necessary 80% of votes needed. See, that's the problem I have with the NFL. The system is just messed up. It's absolutely messed up. But I didn't have a problem with Matthew Stafford beating out Drake May. It was going to be 6-5 and pick and flip a coin. I think Drake May, what he did was more phenomenal. Obviously, Coach of the Year went to Mike Vrabel. We'll hear his speech in a second. Assistant Coach of the Year went to Josh McDaniels as well, and rightly so. Myles Garrett got Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. Titara McMillan from the Carolina Panthers. The Protector of the Year, I love this. Joe Tooney for the Chicago Bears. Unbelievable, doing a great job there with Caleb Williams protecting him. Comeback Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey. Okay. Coach of the Year, as I said, Mike Vrabel. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Carson Schwarzenegger of the Cleveland Browns. Nobody on the planet probably knows who he is outside of Cleveland. Offensive Player of the Year, Jackson Smith, which is the wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks, who the Patriots will be facing. And by the way, this just in, I'd like to let all the people in Seattle and some of the national media know, Patriots defense is as good as anybody's in the country, in the NFL right now. They have been for the last 5 weeks. For some reason, they have not been talked about at all this week on ESPN and NFL Network. Very, very little. It's all Seattle's defense and the Patriots' lack of offense, even though we praise Drake May for being the only quarterback ever to beat 3 top 5 defenses. Number 5 were the Chargers. Number 1 was Houston, and number 2 was Denver. And he's the only quarterback, only one of 2 quarterbacks that threw 3 touchdown passes against the number 1 defense, Houston Texans. For some reason, what he did during the regular season, where he led the league in almost every fucking statistics, gets thrown under the bus. Nobody talks about it because it was an easy schedule. It's such an easy cop-out for the national media to say that. What they have not looked into at all or discussed is since my boy from your Eagles, since Williams came back, and the Patriots have been basically completely healthy on defense. They has been as dominant a defense as anybody else in the NFL. So you can give me all the stuff you want about Seattle's defense, which is excellent, points a lot, and I grant you all of that. They also play a lot of nickel, more than any team in the NFL, and that's why I think Drake May, could find a lot of people, get some seams, get some people open. And it's not just about Stephon Diggs. And I'm telling you right now, Hollins is going to be my pick for MVP of the game, and I'll give you my reasons after that. I know the left side of the Patriots' offensive line, and I get it. It's struggled, but it struggled against the top 3 of the top 5 defenses in the NFL. And Seattle, yes, they can pose a serious threat. Well, so can the Patriots' defense. Sam Darnold, the man who saw ghosts, and that was a long time ago, not that long ago, but it seems that way. Not too many years ago against the Patriots was seeing ghosts. And if you think that the Patriots are not going to come up and haven't, have you seen it already with some great defense against what they've done in the playoffs, and even leading up to the playoffs, the way they have played, it just doesn't get talked about enough. It's ridiculous. Their defense is playing just as well as Seattle's, if not better. I think they're playing better than Seattle's defense. And they went, yeah, I know Stidham played quarterback for Denver, was in a blizzard and all that stuff. And then, it's so funny to go back and hear the hypocritical national media, because going into the Charger game, Justin Herbert did this and the defensive line going to do that. Then they get to Houston, they beat them. Then it's all of a sudden Justin Herbert's a piece of shit. Then they go and play Houston and C.J. Stroud, blah, 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 blah. And all the praise going in for the Texans, and then the Patriots beat them. And all of a sudden, C.J. Stroud and everybody else, well, they're just not as good as they were supposed to be, really. And then they go to Denver, and even Tom Brady didn't win a playoff game in Denver. They go in there and they win 10-7. Hard-fought game, and that play that Drake May made at the end, that audible with that naked bootleg that would have made Steve Grogan very proud, was just phenomenal. The national media focuses on the run. Everybody thinks this game's going to be like 17-14. I disagree. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game than people think. I do. And I'm not saying 35-30 or anything like that. I just think the game is going over 45. I think this is going to be a defensive battle to begin with, but something's going to give. There are going to be some points scored in this game. And, I'm saying 27-24. I'm picking my Patriots to win the game. People are acting like this line is like, I hear these idiots out there saying there's going to be a blowout. Not going to be a blowout either way. It's not the game. The spread's 4.5, not 10.5. The Patriots are 14 to 14.5 point underdogs when they played the Rams in 2001, and they won the game outright. If history has not taught us anything, it's taught us that Patriots in the Super Bowl, the games are always close. Even your Philadelphia Eagles win against them that year was by 9 points, I think, but that wasn't a 9-point win until very late. The Patriots had a chance to go ahead in that game with about 3 minutes to go and didn't get the job done. But I think your Eagles won that game by 9, and that's the game that Brady was phenomenal in. 505 yards, five touchdown pass, no interceptions, but defense couldn't hold up against your Eagles. But every Patriots Super Bowl is close and dramatic, and I guarantee you this one is going to be as well. Probably, I think it's a 3-point game, comes down either way. Can Seattle win? Of course they can win. Of course they can win. But I think people are underestimating, or maybe they're overestimating Sam Darnold, who's looked, pretty good so far, and I think they are really, really buying into the fact that Drake made because of the little shoulder twinge, which, by the way, he was a full participant in practice. I think they want to look at the sacks that he's endured during the postseason. And fair points, but it's the top 5 defense, and he prevailed each and every time. Go look at his numbers, particularly in these games in the second half, what he did against those top 5 defenses. Go back and watch the Houston game and those 3 touchdown passes he had against them. And only one other quarterback had done it during the regular season. This is not going to be the same thing. Yes, Seattle points a lot. I know. I think they're number one. I get it. They got a lot of studs in Seattle. So are the Patriots. And all I've heard is, if they can stop Stephon Diggs and Stephon Diggs has to have a big game. I think he has to show up and they have to play well, obviously. But there's a lot of weapons on this team. Booty, Hollins, Diggs, Kyle Williams. I mean, there's a lot of speed and a lot of talent there, and this team does not drop a lot of balls. You throw in the tight ends with Hunter Henry and Mr. Hooper from Sesame Street, from Austin Hooper, and you have a very formidable running game with Stevenson and Henderson. And Seattle has an excellent football team as well. They got a lot of offensive studs on their team. I get it. But the Patriots, all I'm asking for, give the Patriots defense, national media, a little bit of respect. They're playing as well as any defense in the NFL since the last couple of weeks of the regular season and obviously in the postseason. They've been phenomenal. And they're not getting enough praise. This is all about how is Drake May going to survive this awesome Seattle defense. We're not talking about the 2000 Ravens or the 85 Bears. It's a good defense. It's a very good defense Seattle has. The Patriots have a very good defense as well. They faced good defenses before and beat them all. So, look, I think this game is going to be very close, coming down to the wire. Obviously, as I said, the Seahawks have their share. Smith-Jigba is awesome at receiver. Obviously, they've got Cooper Kupp, who you got. If you want to know who I'm worried about Cooper Kupp. That's a guy that worries me more. He's going to be like how Hollins is. You watch. Cooper Kupp is, there's weapons on this team. They've got, A.J. Barner at tight end as well. Their running back, Walker III, is very good. So this is going to be the ultimate chess match as usual. I think this is going to come right down to the wire. And in the end, my man, Borregales from the U is going to kick the game-winning field goal with 90 seconds to go, and the Patriots win 27-24. How about that?
90 seconds? Do you want to make it shorter?
90 seconds. No, 90 seconds because I want to – it's got to have that drama of Seattle having the ball. Okay. And people forget, after Malcolm Butler intercepted the pass a few years ago on that play, the Patriots didn't run out the clock. They had to punt the ball back to Seattle. Seattle had the ball back with like 10, 11 seconds to go, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So they still had sort of a semi-chance for some crazy Hail Mary, but it didn't happen. Josh says, Pete, going to surprise everyone. RD is being disrespected. Yeah, I don't even say. I don't want to be one of those people that says disrespect. I just don't think it's being talked about enough. It's ridiculous to me. Go since Williams came back and they have been completely healthy. Go look at what they have done on defense. It's been phenomenal. It's absolutely been phenomenal. And I know they're the only people I saw that were on the defensively that Robert Spillane and Landry were on the limited or did not participate in practice yesterday. Obviously, they're better with those two guys playing. I love the way both of those guys are playing, and I fully expect them both to be playing in the Super Bowl. But you look at Milton Williams has been phenomenal. Barnmore, Landry the third has been fantastic. How about Chasen at linebacker? I don't know what you people are watching. Some of you that you don't look at this. They have played just as well. They played better than Seattle's defense in the playoffs. And they have been the best defense in the NFL since the last 2 or 3 weeks of the regular season. As soon as they got Williams back and were healthy at corner again, they've been fantastic. Fantastic. Anyway, Andrew, before we get into all this sound, you're going to get out of here. You're going to get out of here by 8:30, right? Correct?
See.
Okay. So just let me get your take on it, and don't feel like you have to pick the Patriots because of me or anything like that. There's no shame for anybody picking Seattle at all. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I'm saying 27-24 Patriots, and I'll live with that.
Well, first, what Seattle has done, Sam Darnold basically telling people that, hey, you guys didn't believe me enough. Minnesota has obviously seen what happened when he was gone, not knocking anything with the rookie quarterback. He still has a lot to learn to be able to get better, but it's nice to see that he's able to at least now be in the Super Bowl.
He's not a rookie.
No, I'm sorry. Not Sam Darnold. Jesus Christ. Minnesota. Huh?
Yeah, Jay McCarthy.
Yes. Thank you. No, for Sam Darnold. No, I was saying that the only reason why the rookie, obviously from Minnesota, hasn't learned much because he came back from the injury. I know he had a concussion or something this year as well and be able to bounce back. But for Sam Darnold, I do like this rematch, honestly. I like the Seattle Patriots rematch. I think it's going to be really good. I like to see exactly what Seattle's going to end up doing their defense. And I know a lot of people, the Patriots defense, yes, has been stellar at times, and they've been hanging them in there all playoff long. So now it's time for Drake May and the offense to step up on this one. But I like to see Sam Darnold win it? Yes, but I do have family as well up there in New England, and it's been a while since the Patriots have been there. I personally couldn't stand the 1-2 combination back in the day until we beat them finally.
And I understand that. The whole country felt that way. In 2001, they were American sweethearts. It was after 9/11. They're patriots symbolically and all that crap. And the whole planet was on their side. They were the lovable underdogs until they weren't. This is what we do. We build people up, and then we want to knock them down. And it's almost like that in all aspects of life. It really is. But I've heard some of the silliest, stupidest takes. It's crazy. Go ahead, complete your thought.
So to me personally, I would like to see the Patriots actually win it. This would be now number 7 for them if they end up pulling off this feat. Yep. So that would be great for New England. Not so much for the kids who grow up spoiled, that they were just winning. Boston was winning. Bruins were winning. Celtics. Yeah, but just overall,
it was spoiling. And somebody brought it up the other day. Showing all the championships since 2001. And it's not only that, and it was how many times teams from New England were playing in the national championship, and they didn't even include. And it should have been more. It was something like, because the Celtics lost in the finals in 2010, the Bruins lost in the finals in 2019. But just overall Boston teams playing in the finals of the 4 major sports was off the chart. Now, you want to throw in Boston College, Boston University, and hockey, and UConn and basketball. You're talking even more championships if you want to go that way as well. So it's just been very, very blessed. But for the generation, I'm a Generation Xer, right? What am I? The Generation Z people. Then what are they going to do after Generation? What's after Generation Z?
They just start all over again. Generation nothing.
The Generation Z people, which there are many idiots and very spoiled brats out there who are helicopter parented don't understand. They are a lot of them are a bunch of, not all of them, but a lot of them are a bunch of spoiled brats.
They are.
Because if their team isn't in the championship, then you suck. And that's where we are, unfortunately, in our society for so many different things other than sports. It's like pass or fail. Well, it's not that way.
No.
It's not there. What is a way is the Patriots are going to be around for a long time. So get used to it, everybody. That's what really aggravates people even more is that they have rebuilt this thing so quickly. And all of us bitching and moaning about what the offense was going to be like at the start of preseason. And now you look at it like, geez, well, who's Seattle going to stop? They're going to stop Diggs? Fine. We got Mac Hollins. We got Williams. Pop Douglas. Fantastic running game. So all of a sudden, the Patriots have all these weapons now after, 23 weeks that back in the preseason, we were like, how are they going to score? And they've been great. And go ahead.
I will end it with this. The only time I will be tuning away is during the halftime show. I want nothing to do with that ridiculous artist that they put in there for the halftime. And listen, folks, because I am, first of all, American because I was born here in America, Puerto Riqueño because that is my family's nationality. Yes. So I don't care for the idiot. I think when you guys, and Roger Goodell is taking a lot of heat for this as well, because that dope goes on the Grammys and it says F Ice, and this is what you're promoting to everyone out there in America. So I will be looking at Turning Point USA. They got a much better halftime lineup. As a matter of fact, if the Puppy Bowl was on during that time, I'd be watching the Puppy Bowl.
That's right. We used to watch that, and Bud Bowl, I think, was on at the time during the game. But yeah, Puppy Bowl, for me, I never gave a shit about who's doing the halftime show. I don't care. I don't care. I don't watch it. I get up and reheat food. I don't. It's that's cigar time. I got a half an hour to smoke a beautiful cigar at halftime with my buddy Dave, and my other friends that are going to be at this awesome party that my great friends Dave and Marie are hosting. Some of my other friends are.
I heard that you guys are doing a drone show. Is that correct? Because I.
But yeah, and the worst thing he said a lot of stupid. What I hate the most is when he said, and I would say this, if you were Italian and said, you people have had 3 months to learn Italian, I'd feel the same way. When he went out and said, well, you've had 3 months to learn Spanish. Go fuck yourself, man. I don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. You don't want to hear that. In this country, we have a hard enough time, most people trying to speak English.
Yep.
That's great that people are bilingual. I'm talking, look how many people, like when I hear the word irregardless coming from journalists, I feel like just kick me in the nuts. I can't stand that. Somebody says good, you're doing good. Well, no, you're doing well. You're not doing good, you're doing well. See, I hear my mother and I hear my English teachers from Hendricken in the background. Anybody, if you miss, it's just drilled into my head. Now, granted, I mess up all the time with maybe incorrecting, but I try to, my filter is much better now, 38 and a half years of this business than it was, when I first started. For me personally, I concentrate more on pronouncing R's and INGs and not saying Tampa Bay, Tamper, that kind of thing. But it's just, the cylinder. There's this one guy, and he's from Nashville. He's just made a complete jackass out of himself this week. And there are shows in Boston that want to have this guy on because they think he's edgy and everything else. It's just stupid. It's just absolutely stupid. Oh, by the way, we also have to play my buddy Josh Prey, who actually sent me he retweeted something that I sent to him. And then I want to have him on the show, but now since I don't know literally 24, 48 hours in advance to you, it's hard. But we are going to remind me before you leave, we have to play it. This was from January 29th, and he goes off on the awesomeness of the Miami Hurricanes and the transfer portal, what they have done. And just off the beaten path real quick, and then we're going to get right into all the Super Bowl stuff, all the audio that you may have missed, some video as well, Mike Vrabel's speech, Adam Vinatieri getting the call to be in the Hall of Fame, and others. But I don't know how the Hurricanes aren't going to be preseason number one. They got the best quarterback. They got that kid from Duke Mensa to come over. Yes, they're losing Bain. Yes, they're losing Mesidor. They got their entire running back. All 4 of them are coming back. Malachi Tony is coming back. You've got everybody. They are freaking loaded. They have Clemson next year, and they have Notre Dame. Other than that, I mean, it's never as easy as it looks on paper. But the Hurricanes are going to be fantastic. They should be a top. If they're not number 1 preseason, they got to be top 3.
So is Carson Beck coming back for his 9th year in college?
No, he's not. As you know, he graduated 2 years earlier from Georgia, but that's not uncommon. And that happens because of injuries and your redshirt and everything else. Last year, remember the Hurricanes? Their first touchdown was caught by the tight end there. I forget his name when they played in Gainesville against the Gators, and that was his 8th season. But because he had several nasty injuries, plus the wrist, so. Shit happens. He's not the only one. He's not the only 8 or 9 year guy in college football. But we digress. All right, let's get to the video. I'm gonna. Do you still have what's her name up there? Tiffany Haddish.
Yep.
Let's play her, and then right after that, Angel, let's play the video, the actual video from Mike Vrabel, which is a few down after that from the Patriots. Then we'll hear some of the players' reactions as well. Well, this happened last night. I think it was on NBC. I can't remember. I don't know where this was broadcast on. Tiffany Haddish. Take it away, Tiff.
The 2025 AP Coach of the Year is Mike Vrabel.
Coach Shanahan, who?
Vrabel is busy preparing for the Super Bowl. The 2025 AP.
How in the NFL, how in the wide world of sports do you not have that stuff spelled out phonetically? It's ridiculous. Or you're telling me you didn't go over? I don't know how many people she introduced. I didn't see it. But my God, it's just stupid. All right, here's Mike Vrabel's speech that she alluded to.
Oh, come on.
Congratulations first to all the amazing award winners tonight. You're the reason that our game is so special. It's an honor to be recognized amongst the great coaches of our league, especially Kyle and Liam, Ben, and of course, Mike. Ultimately, my name will go on this award, but this award belongs to a building, it belongs to a staff, and ultimately, it belongs to the men in the locker room who believed when they couldn't always see it and also bought in when it wasn't easy. I appreciate that and everything they do. We did this together, and I'll always be thankful and grateful to be your coach. I'd like to thank Robert and Jonathan Kraft and everybody in our building that helped us win on and off the field. And to Stretch, the world may know who you are, but they'll never know the impact that you made on our team, my family, and obviously me. And for that, I'm grateful. To my amazing friends and family, wonderful wife, Jen, my sons, Tyler and Carter, appreciate you guys for being along on this ride. It hasn't always been easy. I love you guys, and thank you again.
All right, and then Angel, if we could scroll up from there, a couple up from there is the players for the Patriots. That's under ML Football. Had this message for Coach Vrabel. Verbal.
Get it right.
Who knew?
Coach Braves. What's going on, Coach Braves? Shout out to Coach Braves. Just want to appreciate you for changing this year, changing this franchise, changing this organization. And
the things you taught his team and individually, it's been everything and more. The energy that he brings is contagious.
Haven't met a more influential coach in my life than him.
He's more than just like a player's coach. He's actually like in it with you. He makes you feel as if your problems are his problems.
You have impacted the season in the most meaningful and loveliest way.
Very inspirational. It makes it easy to come to work every day.
All the work you put in for us. You deserve everything and more, man.
He deserved every award or accolade that he receives this year.
Just want to say thank you.
And you're just the guy that everybody in the locker room wants to play for.
Nobody would rather play for. I know a lot of people in the locker room think the same way.
Excited for many more years together.
Coach. Good stuff there. Absolute good stuff's there. Let's see. What else?
Cash from Guy says, good morning, fellas. Good to hear you back, and hope you have a good day. GBG, his son's about to start spring football here shortly. I can't wait for that one. Last year, I think it was his first season. Now he's into year 2, which means it's getting tougher and better. And real quick, before you get to the next video, Pete, has there ever been, and has anyone asked a question, because obviously you were up there at WEI for many years, was there a point when Robert Kraft bought this team and ended up taking it over, was there ever a point where he ever said, is this really going to work?
I don't think so. And it started immediately with the hiring of Bill Parcells. And that set everything in motion. As soon as that happened, season ticket, the phones went nuts. It was like just because they hired Parcells. And then, thank goodness they were smart enough not to take Rick Meyer. They took Drew Bledsoe. And it was fantastic. And you saw immediately what happened the second half of the season. They won the last 4 games. They knocked Miami out of the playoffs. I mean, the next year they go to the postseason. And they lose to Bill Belichick and the Cleveland Browns, a very, very tough 17-10 loss, if I remember correctly. And then, and it was funny because the week before that, they had a win at Chicago, and it was like -2 outside in Chicago to get to it was a Christmas Eve to get to the postseason. I'll never forget it. And they did it, and then they lost a very tough 17-10 game. The following year, they struggled again a little bit. I think they went 6-10. And then the next year, they get to the Super Bowl where they ended up losing to Green Bay. So I think Parcells' overall record with the Patriots was like 500. But the impact that he had was that started the whole thing. You talk about the chicken and the egg.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Parcells was both. Without him, they don't get it going. And then Drew Bledsoe obviously was phenomenal. And then it kept going on. And for most of the time, they had really good seasons. Even the Pete Carroll years, the worst year he had was 8-8. Yes, he got progressively worse all 3 years, but they made the playoffs in 2 out of the 3 years he was there. The third year they went 8-8, and off he went in '99. And then they hired Bill Belichick. His first year in 2000, I think they went, or '99 or 2000, they went 6-10. Lost a couple of heartbreakers, but and everyone was wondering, what was going to happen, this, that, and the other thing. And then Brady comes in 2001 after Drew got hurt, and the rest is history. So, Belichick, and they rebuilt that team 3 different times. So I think Robert Kraft was always very confident, not cocky over like that. Jonathan might have been more of the cocky one than Robert, but it was, I think it was just a confidence and surrounding himself with good football people.
Okay.
And not being like Jerry Jones and being an egomaniacal owner like that. And where he has to be the center of attention. Talking about Jerry Jones. Anyway. Kraft and Bill Parcells. No, Kraft. Well, yeah, Bill Parcells was a huge part of it. He's the one that got it going. During that hire. And then when he left for the Jets, I mean, that was the worst thing that happened. It's during the Super Bowl week against Green Bay. And that's when the story broke that he was going to leave the Patriots for the Jets. And that was a huge, huge thing. That was a gigantic distraction. And don't think for a second it wasn't. Even though the Patriots were down early in that game and had the lead 14-10 and had a chance to tie it late before Green Bay kind of pulled away at the end. But that was a gigantic distraction. I think Bill has even admitted that, Bill Parcells, during that documentary with him and Bill Belichick. I think he admitted that it was not handled right. Josh says, don't forget the old Foxborough Stadium. Before '97 Super Bowl, people are waiting in line for the AFC Championship against Jacksonville. Yeah.
Wait, what was that? I was in the military then. What was that about?
No, they were that was when that year of the Super Bowl, because Jacksonville went to Denver and upset them. So that meant the Patriots were going to host the AFC Championship game against Jacksonville. So that's what I believe he's talking about. So people lined up to get tickets for the AFC Championship because it wasn't determined. The Patriots had played earlier. Jacksonville had the late game and at Denver, and they upset the Broncos in that game. Huge, very big upset at the time. So. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought, didn't Kraft hire Bill Parcells? It wasn't Orthwine. No. I thought Kraft had a big say. Anyway, when Parcells got there is when everything changed. And everybody thought that Bill Parcells was going to hand the ball. I remember a couple of colleagues of mine said, well, it's just going to be, he's going to coach like he did the Giants. So three handoffs in a cloud of dust, and then we'll see what happens. No. Great coaches adjust and adapt to their roster. And there was no way that Butts was going to be their running back at the time that they got from San Diego at the time was going to be their main offensive weapon with Drew Bledsoe out there. No, and it was proven at one point later on in the season, once he got adjusted, that they were throwing the ball all over the place. It was crazy. Anyway, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Kraft that hired Bill Parcells. I'm 99.9% positive. That's what got to go. Anyway, all right. Let's get to one last thing here and one last video, Angel, if we could. Adam Vinatieri. And if we could scroll down, and it's under Savage. And this is to this day, to me, is the greatest field goal kick of all time. I don't know how anybody can disagree.
Right.
Same direction that he is kicking, so that means he does have a little help with the wind to get this kick up.
This will be a 45-yard attempt. That's Vinatieri's luck from this distance of late. This is the Patriots season on the line. The kick is away. It is good.
Same direction that he is kicking.
Oh, well, that for a throwback.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Anyway, and then if we could scroll up, Angel, this is, or I should say, scroll up. And this is how Adam Vinatieri was notified about him going to the Hall of Fame. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's pretty cool when the NFL does this.
No.
Congratulations, brother. Yeah!
Thank you. Let's go. Let's go. Woo! I don't want him to look at me as, oh, he's a kicker. He's this quirky guy that sits on the sideline all practice long. I wanted him to go, hey, man, this guy cares. He wants to win as much as anybody does.
Clearly, you can't tell the story of the NFL without mentioning Adam Vinatieri. Impossible.
It was Orthwine. I was wrong. That's right. It was Orthwine. Anyway, continue.
That was it.
Yeah, 1993. It was right but I'll tell you what, in my understanding, it's Kraft, because it was right before Kraft sort of bought the team. And it was right before that. And I think Robert had a big say in that. It was unfortunate how Bill Parcells left, because that was a huge distraction that week during Super Bowl week. And, anyway, it ended up being, I guess, a blessing in disguise. I mean, they went with Pete Carroll. It was okay the first couple years. And then it wasn't, and then Bill Belichick came, and the rest is history. All right, let's get into some more. So, what is Angel, what is your final prediction for the Super Bowl?
I could be wrong. I almost feel like there's going to be a landslide.
You're more right or wrong than anybody else. I mean, I'm saying 27-24 New England, but go ahead, go for it.
I think it's one of those where we saw what happened last year with the Eagles. And I got a funny feeling the Patriots have been holding back until they get to the big game, the Super Bowl. But I'm feeling more of a Patriots 31-14 win. I don't know why. Obviously I'm going to be way off, but I just feel like the Patriots are really going to show up and show out today or tomorrow.
You may not, and if it was 31-14 the other way, I guess I could see that. But 31-14, that would surprise me a little bit. But if Sam Darnold, if the Patriots get into his head, we've seen with this team, we've seen Sam Darnold implode before. We have. And obviously Drake May's in the Super Bowl rookie, but Drake May is not like the second year, but he's not your typical second-year quarterback. We have seen him overcome, adjust, and adapt. The one thing that Drake May, I think, is phenomenal with, very similar to what Brady was, he doesn't let the previous play bother him. He gets sacked 3 times in a row, get up and throw a 60-yard bomb for a touchdown the next time up. He does not let anything really bother him. And you can talk all you want about the Patriots' offensive line against the 3 of the top 5 defenses. And yes, Seattle is right up there in points allowed and everything else. But if you don't think that the Patriots are going to come up with some schemes that are going to confuse Sam Darnold, you're crazy. They're going to. They're going to get to him. They're going to make him throw interceptions. Seattle might do the same thing to Drake May. He may throw an interception or two. And it may come down, the whole game may come down to, as it usually does, not going out on a limb or breaking any news, what quarterback turns the ball over the least amount of times. I think both defenses are going to make plays. I think both offenses are going to make plays. I like our special teams a lot. I love Borregales. I know against Denver and all that. There have been some horrible weather games he's kicked, but he also kicked a pretty good clutch field goal that put them up 10-7 in that game. The other ones, the misses from all of them, 45 and 63-yarder. I'm not counting a 63-yarder with no time to go in a half as anything to get on him about. I think if push comes to shove, he's gonna make the game-winning kick. 90 seconds to go. Patriots have to play good D, hold off Seattle at the end, and we'll take it from. But he's like 31-14 Patriots. I love that. All right, let's get to some sound clips here because you have to get out of here at 8:30. So we'll just go for another half hour or so. Drake May talking about how I'm not going to play every single cut that I have, but I am going to play some of the what I think are the more interesting ones, not just from the Patriots, but from the Seattle Seahawks as well. Here's Drake May on how he and Josh McDaniels have helped each other.
Josh has meant the world. I think just of how he's come in and just shared his knowledge, willing to share his experiences, even, a week like this week, where he's played in, this game coming up 10 times, it's pretty cool how much knowledge he knows about kind of the competitive stamina it takes with, kind of the longer timeouts, the longer pregame, kind of what it takes for just kind of having the, like I said, the stamina to play in this game at a high level, the emotion and all it takes. And for me, how have I helped him? I just try to execute his plays to the best of my ability and try to help the guys, get on track. And I think we've done a solid job of that and looking forward to, trying to do that one more time.
All righty. And let's see, there's more from Drake May on, where's the funny one? Well, all right, Drake May and his year-to-year difference in the building that helped them go from worst to the first in the AFC.
I think one of the biggest thing is, I think winning helps. Winning helps. I think just buying into the same belief in each other and, what Coach Vrabel's trying to get accomplished. I think from day one, I feel like the guys have really kind of took what Coach Vrabel was wanting to do with us and have just really applied it to their lives in every single way, whether it's on the field, off the field, getting treatment, doing little things, making great decisions off the field. I think that's the biggest thing is just, Coach Vrabel always says, he treats us how we treat the team. And I think that's how guys have taken this year. And I think it's just really, ride together and, want to play for each other. And, from there on, we just have had fun doing it, every single day since. And it's been a ride and looking forward to, trying to finish it off.
All right, here's Drake May on the pregame superstitions.
Pregame superstitions or good luck charms? That's a good question. I think, I try to keep my warm-up routine the same, every week. I put my right shoe on before my left shoe. I put my left sock on before my right sock. Really, other than that,
do the hokey pokey.
I don't really listen to music in headphones. I kind of just listen to what the locker room's playing, so who knows what that is. And other than that, I try to, keep the little things the same. Try to eat the same thing. I don't eat very much on game day. Try to keep it light. And then from there, just stay in the same place in the national anthem. So, yeah, I got a lot of things I probably do, yeah.
Oh, and before I forget, I want to go back to Drake May for a second. He's going to talk about Tom Brady. And maybe I'll play this cut first. And where is it? Yeah, I have it. And it's so much stuff here. Here's Drake May on on the advice Tom Brady gave him, and more on that in a second.
Best advice Tom Brady ever gives me. I've met Tom a few times, and one of the best things he says, there's no shortcuts to it. There's no shortcuts to putting in the work, and the proof's in the pudding. And knowing that the shortcuts that that people take or can try to take, it's not worth it. Get the most out of what you put into it, and he's been great at that, and he obviously showed that throughout his career.
All right, and Tom Brady's come under fire from some Patriot fans and some ex-players because he's not pom-pomming for the Patriots. And I don't know. I would, to say he doesn't have a rooting interest seems kind of phonyish to me. But on the other hand, look, he's a minority owner of the Raiders. I don't know what he's supposed to say. I guess, to come out and be all balls to the wall for the Patriots. I don't know if he's supposed to do that legally. Now there's a minority owner with the Raiders and all this. I don't know. I think deep down he absolutely 150,000% is rooting for the Patriots. And somebody on one of the talk shows this week, and it's one of the few blurbs that I saw when they were talking about anything relevant on 98.5 or WEEI, because a lot of this stuff on Radio Row is all bullshit. The interviews are all bullshit. They're not, and I've done many of them, so I know the bullshit. People come along pushing a product, and then you have to sit there and talk to them. Like I know WEI had Cam Newton on the other day. Is Cam Newton, am I going to be drawn to Cam Newton? Not unless you hammer him about the stupidity that he has unleashed on the ESPN airwaves, and I'm not saying you sit there and attack him like a junkyard dog, but you sure as hell got to question him now as a media member about some of the ridiculous comments that he has made about the Patriots all year long. But I didn't hear it, and I don't care, because I'm sure some of that stuff wasn't asked, and then he'll sit there and, I just think most of the interviews on Radio Row, for the most part, 95% of them, useless. I like the fun one. I liked, like when we had Chef Andrew Zimmer on a couple of years ago in Vegas. See, it's outside the football world. That's fun. That was one of my favorite interviews ever, was having Chef Andrew on. So much fun. And I think I gained some respect because he knew I knew the shows. He knew I knew about food, what he was talking about, the kid. We had a great conversation. It was very, very nice. Anywho, but I'm not all hung up on, my bigger point was somebody from WEI or the Sports Hub brought up, well, you never hear Larry Bird come out and openly root for the Celtics. And that's true. There's a lot, and there's a lot of, I know he's rooting for them, and probably the Pacers as well, at times, since those are the two organizations, obviously with the Celtics. I'm sure deep down, but you don't hear Larry Bird, you don't hear Bobby Orr come out every time the Bruins are in the playoffs and openly root. I mean, I know they are. I know that they'll go to them sometimes, but I don't think it's a big deal. I don't. I think people are getting their panties in a bunch over this lack of Tom Brady rah-rah stuff, and it's just. It's irrelevant to me. All right, here's more from Drake May on Sam Darnold's journey in the league. How about that?
Big fan of Sam. What a journey. What a career he's had. Just to battle the life of the NFL, and knowing that his first opportunity, obviously he got put in a scenario where they decided to move on, and from there he's made them pay ever since. He's battled of not playing for years and being the backup to getting his chance and just making the most of it. It's been awesome.
Yeah, good stuff there. And let's, speaking of Sam Darnold, let's hear from Sam Darnold. Oh, no, before that, I have to torture Angel, because I'm going to play. Thank you. Never thought I'd ever say this, but thank you, Angel Martinez. Thank you to your Philadelphia Eagles for the one and only Milton Williams. A couple cuts from him on having won and lost a Super Bowl.
Losing a Super Bowl definitely sucks. You're playing for this long to have an opportunity to get there, and then not coming out successful. It's definitely tough. It's like, man, we did all this for nothing. Like, we didn't get nothing for it. But you got to take. You can't win them all. We won some playoff games. We obviously won a championship game to get here. So the year ain't a waste. Give credit where it's due. But that year we didn't get the job done. But winning it is probably one of the greatest feelings in the world. You're on top of the world. You put a lot of work in to get to this moment, and finally see it pay off. People really, dreams come true in this moment. It's special.
Yeah, thanks.
Williams. And today I want you to love him too. I love him. Love him! Thank you. He's more from making his third Super Bowl appearance in 5 years.
Yeah, my mom always remind me to, reflect on things like that. Guys played 12, 15 years in the NFL and, don't make the playoffs, don't go to the Super Bowl. It's just crazy when you really think about it. Just me, that's a guy from Crowley, Texas. Just love football, and now being on this stage 3 times in 5 years is crazy. It's something I never even dreamed about, but I'm ready for it. I like playing in these games. I like playing in these games. Knowing what's a lot at stake, but also want to be remembered for something.
I love that man. I just love how he plays. He was hard not to like, even with your Eagles, but man, he goes balls to the wall. And if it's going to take 2 guys to stop him, it's just going to open up some other stuff for the Barmores of the world and the Chasins, the Patriots linebacking core. He's meant the world to this defense. He is a great player, and now he's back fully healthy. And here's Sam Darnold on the Patriots disguising coverages.
Sam, you mentioned earlier about San Francisco, working on, reading coverages and mastering those things. The Patriots and a bunch of these other really good teams really emphasize disguising coverages now and really mastered that. How has your approach changed playing the quarterback position, pre-snap, and then how you see things with the way teams are mixing and matching, rolling their safeties, inverted coverages, things like that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think, like defenses evolve, I'm not going to go into super in depth about it, but I think Cooper Kupp did a really good dissertation earlier in training camp about coverages and how it's evolved throughout the NFL. I would not be able to explain it that well, but y'all need to go watch that at some point. It's really fascinating. But I think the biggest thing for us is just continuing to stick with, if we need to have, both, two-sided reads, or, we call them pick-a-side reads, that's great. I think a lot of guys and myself are capable of doing that. But I think just going through progressions is kind of the way to go in some aspects, especially some of these teams that want to, mix, different coverages and show you one high, go to 2 high, or even show you 2 high and play a different type of 2 high shell. So it's, these defensive coordinators are really smart and they're really creative kind of in the way they get to their coverages. So it's, I think it's always important for a quarterback to just understand kind of what we think might happen, what our read is, and then, if it goes to something else, not panicking and just getting through our progression. And as we like to say, listening to our feet is always huge. Thanks, guys.
All righty, here's head coach for the Seahawks, Mike McDonald, on expecting Nick Imamori to play on Sunday.
All right. Great to be back. I'm sure you're eager. There's no way the first question's about Nick, is it? Garrett's just rolled his ankle yesterday, and he's got a low ankle sprain. Going to do the walkthrough today. Not sure how extensive, if at all, he's going to practice, but he's confident, got a great plan, fully expect him to play, so good, right where we want to be. So, but he's doing great and moving around. Just got to make sure we handle it the right way, and probably going to be over careful and over cautious at this point to make sure we're rolling going into the weekend.
All right, let's hear from some more of the Seahawks. Let's see. Oh, here's Cooper Kupp on the uniqueness of playing with JSN.
Obviously, special to know about what's the uniqueness of playing with that guy?
With Jax, he keeps you on your toes, man. He keeps you on your toes. He is so much fun. I think it's over and over again. It's like the new things that he's done, being able to learn from him and see, the tools that he's learned and the things that he's done through his career that, you know, that are new. It's like, man, there's things that I'm seeing. It's like, man, there's new ways to think about the receiver position, new things to learn, and it goes back to that. I mean, I think that's why the NFL is so great. Is there's so much learning, there's so much depth to it. But I really enjoyed just being able to get to know him, the friendship that we have, and being able to help each other, lean on each other, ask questions, and how we'd run routes and things like that.
All right, now here's JSN on the Patriots disguising coverages.
I was just talking to Sam a few minutes ago about how it seems like the Patriots, they're the top of the league in disguise coverages, and that's kind of become the new norm, and they're masters at it. At the receiver position, how does that impact the way that you operate post-snap now compared to, say, when you're playing teams that are more static?
Yeah, I mean, post-snap reads are very, very important, especially, like you said, in today's league now, and something that, you know, I've grown in and learned, you know, since I was back in college. So, and, you know, that's what the league is today. So, you know, just being able to pick it up fast and make sure you're at the spot at the right time is very important, and something that we practice and work on this whole year.
All righty. Let's see a little bit more here as we continue to preview Super Bowl LX. That's Super Bowl 60. Some people get offended in the media by Roman numerals for Super Bowls. I like it.
I liked it when Gronk said Super Bowl licks.
Licks. I know I'm kind of going back and forth on topics here. It's only because there's a gazillion cuts here, and they're not necessarily in all the order I would put them in. But here, getting back to the Tom Brady situation, Vince Wilfork went on the WEI's afternoon show and talked about Tom Brady caring about the Patriots.
So I got to get your verdict on the game.
It's Greg Hill.
I don't have to ask. Okay, good. I mean,
Teddy got to say the same response.
Yeah, but
great. Tom hasn't given an opinion, and we're waiting for an opinion from Tom.
That's bull crap, Tom. Thank you.
That's what we say.
Thank you.
Come on, Tom.
Now. Why won't he give
all
that
political?
This ain't political.
Yeah.
It ain't political. What it is.
Yeah.
Raiders ain't in it.
Yep.
Thank you, Vince.
That's right.
Say what it is.
Right.
What you see.
Yep.
You want to come back and say, hey, I'm a Patriot for life, then you should be rooting for him.
Man, look, at the end of the day, if you're a Patriot for life, you know what it is. Don't give me that political bull crap. That's just what it is. That's it. That's just what if you don't think we're going to win, just pick Seattle then. Right. Yeah. Don't straddle the fence.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Don't straddle the fence.
Thank you.
That's what I said.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys are saying it's TB12 saying he's rooting for the Pats. It's total bullshit. Oh, not saying he's rooting for the Pats. Yeah, look, there's a lot of. I'm a little disappointed in him. Is it gonna throw my whole day off? No. Like I said, yeah, Patriot for life. I think Vince brings up a good point. But like I said, somebody on one of the talk shows, or both of them. By the way, you gotta love the WEI 98.5 crap that goes on. Not that we didn't have crap back then, but we were only the only sports station in town. And despite what people used to say, we did have competition, most of the classic rock stations, because you're competing. It doesn't matter if it's a sports station in town or not. It's news and talk shows and all that stuff. And we'd get in spats with some media members. A lot of media members back then were all on our show. We used to rotate 3 guests a day, because Glenn was in the lead chair, obviously, Hall of Famer, for many years. But we had 3 guests all the time, and myself. But the stuff that goes on now at WEI 98.5, the sports hub, between the producers and who said what to whom and listens and blah, 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 I just find it fast. Oh, and here's my favorite. I guess last week, Felger and Maz, again, 2 people that I worked with, and I like both of them. Let me just say that. I like both of them personally, professionally, something. You know, they both got their start on the radio on the Big Show with Glenn and myself. They go on the air last week, Angel, and we've talked about it. I told you these stories from the horrible Jacksonville stories where I was put in a hotel. There's a double homicide on Lifetime, the show a year later. I told you about the hookers and the drug dealers that were part of the hotel. And we would tell these stories on the air. The Chinese Takey Outie, which I showed you, the restaurant next door, that is a real restaurant. That was next door to the hotel. And people loved it. It was hysterical. Felger and Maz go on their show Rip and Glenn and myself on the show because we used to talk about the hotel rooms too much. And like, well, nobody cares. Yeah, they do. They did care. They were funny stories. It wasn't just like, oh, it wasn't about, oh, the maid service sucked and we didn't get to. No, they were funny, legitimate stories. And what cracks me up is for on-air hosts who don't want to talk about hotel rooms to spend a half an hour talking about another show from back in 2004, some 22 years earlier, talking about crazy scenarios with hotel rooms. That cracked me up. So you're going to waste a half hour of your show talking about our show from 22 years ago, and that's hysterical to me. You talk about hypocrisy. There it is in a nutshell. Anyway. The producers are going at each other or talk show hosts. I listen to you, you don't listen to me. Wah, 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 wah. It's bullshit. Both your companies are going bankrupt. So, just get ready for the axe anytime soon over the next, don't be shocked whenever it comes, because it is coming. And it's getting worse, by the way. It's getting the layoffs and the cutbacks of all these terrestrial radio stations. You guys can bitch and moan all you want. They don't give a fuck about ratings. I told you. They don't care. None of these companies care. They're all in bankruptcy court. So just, have some fun. Stop bickering at each other. You're not going to, because it won't be for much longer. I can promise you that. It won't be for much longer. You'll all be doing this. That's what you're doing.
It is amazing how it's fallen so, much apart. So many guys are losing their radio spots. Some guys are now starting to lose TV spots. It's insane.
I was trying to find the cut. I forget the guy's last name. He was from Nashville. Just made a total a-hole out of himself all week. He hates Mike Vrabel for some reason, and just spewing all sorts of stuff that's not factual. He compared. Get this. He compared Drake May to Rex Grossman's year with the Bears when they went to the Super Bowl against Indianapolis in Miami. He compared them. It's not even remotely close.
Nope.
And first of all, Kyle Orton should have been a starting quarterback. They benched him that year for Grossman. And to even have Grossman and Drake May's name come out in the same sentence just shows you how some of these jackasses even have jobs. I don't get it. I really don't. It makes absolutely no sense. It just shows what an idiot you are, or you're just general hatred and you're not interested in looking at things rationally. And people may say something of that about me. I look at it rationally. I think it's going to be a hell of a game going right down the wire. I think the Patriots are being completely disrespected by a lot of the national media on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball. I think they're going to win 27-24. Can the Rams win 27? Sure they can. The Rams can win. The Seahawks can win. Absolutely. But as I've said, I will roll the dice with the 4.5 or 5 points plus 5 with the Patriots, because 99.9% of their Super Bowls in the Belichick now Vrabel era have all come down to the wire, except for the late touchdown the Eagles got against the Patriots when they won by 9, and though Tom Brady had 505 passing yards in that game and no interceptions. Other than that, I will roll the dice that the Patriots are going to at least cover. You may pick the Seahawks to win, and that's fine. I think it's a 3-point game. I think it's a 3-point game either way. Here's Stephon Diggs on visualizing the Super Bowl.
Have I seen it for myself? Yeah. But I haven't really visualized that moment because I just want that moment to be its own. And I want to earn the opportunity to be right there. I want to earn the opportunity to get it. So they say you got to see it before it happens, but I know it's going to happen.
All righty. I can't see I even picked the Patriots down here in Miami, and I'm getting crucified for it. Well, I don't know why. If it's how you feel, it's how you feel. And with all due respect, I've heard some of these people on these talk shows in Miami. No. I think they have, even though I love my man Trevor Harris, and I'm not lumping him in with this, but some of his colleagues, especially in the afternoon show, think very highly of themselves, and I'm wondering why. They were ranked 20th in the latest Barrett Sport. Not that I give a shit about any of that crap, but the afternoon show over WQAM, they need to get over themselves, seriously, because they have a lot of ridiculous takes of what they think their listeners want to hear, as opposed to I don't know. I love my man Trevor. He's awesome, and he's a big backbone of that station as a producer and sometimes co-host. But the people in Miami, they can suck it. I mean, I don't care. You got stuck with Charlie Brown as a coach for all these years, and some of you are still arguing that he shouldn't be there. That's all I need to know. Gonna miss him. Gonna miss him. Speaking of missing, and we got about 10 minutes left. I know Angel has to leave at 8:30. Another topic coming up on Radio Row, which because of this game, you knew it was going to happen. Malcolm Butler and the big mystery back then, why he was benched in Super Bowl 52. And he was on WEEI as well, and they talked about it.
If
you're damn right.
If Bill would have smartened up and played you in the Philly Super Bowl.
Yeah. Hey, coach's decision now.
Now wait.
Uh-oh,
I thought the book was coming out on this or something.
Oh yeah, I'm still living, man. I'm still cooking it.
Okay, but you got to give us some. You have to give us some kind of an indication, like a category. Would that be fair? Like categorically, decision was based on football. Was the decision based on football?
I think so.
You do?
100%.
Not based on
all the rumors.
So the rumors are not true.
It depends on what you heard, or
well, you know the big rumor.
Well, what's the rumor?
Well, I mean, I can. I
don't know none of the rumors.
You're a good-looking fella.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Probably flirtatious at times.
With who?
I don't know. With anybody that was married.
Come on now.
Anybody that was married to
all
anybody
that paperwork you got right there. And you can't even
just
talk.
tell me that's not it.
That's not it.
That's not it.
That's not it.
That is not it.
100%.
100% not it.
Yes, sir.
And it wasn't you out having a great time and enjoying yourself and back late or anything like that.
Over a ring?
Yeah. Right. I got you. I've always
that can
felt
change
this way.
people's lives?
Yeah.
It is still one of the great sports mysteries to me. And, I'm well connected with the team. And I've had conversations with Glenn about this. He knows even more people closely than I do. I've certainly talked enough about reporters, and I still don't know the truth. They were insinuating there, is he sleeping or going out with somebody's wife or girlfriend? I don't know. Did he stay out late past curfew? Never heard that he did that during the regular season. So I don't know for sure. It's one of the great sports mysteries why Malcolm Butler, why Bill Belichick did not play him against your Philadelphia Eagles. Would it have mattered that day? Maybe. Maybe not. No one's ever going to know for sure, but people are absolutely convinced, Angel, and I disagree with them, that if he played in that game, the Eagles would not have won, and I disagree. I think it was your day that day, and you were going to win.
Yep.
I mean, maybe Malcolm Butler makes a play here or a play there, but I think overall that was your day. And I don't ever want to take anything away from the Eagles in that Super Bowl because Malcolm Butler did or did not play. But it is interesting about it is still people still. I probably get asked that question by more Patriot and non-Patriot fans all the time. I got no answer. Like, oh, you're hiding. No, I'm not. I said, look, I've told a couple of people some stories, some off-the-record stories that I would never say on the air because I trust these people, a few of them implicitly. But I mean, if Glenn and I would write a book about indiscretions in the sports world, it would be a bestseller. I'd be on Netflix. I'd star in my own movie. I mean, there's shit that happens in sports. It's very similar to Hollywood that some of you would not believe. Some of you would not believe, and, and I think I told you this, one of the things I can talk about a little bit now is back in the day, it wasn't too long ago, when Tom Brady and Giselle were having their problems, I knew all about it. And I knew who she was seeing because a friend of mine's best friend was best friends with this guy, the guy she's with now.
Right.
I think she married him. I think they got married. But I knew about it 2 years before. And I remember Obviously, I'm not going to say anything about it at all because I don't ever get into the personal lives of athletes. Now, afterwards was different. When we found out that they had split up and she was with this guy, I'm like, this is the guy I was talking about. But it was at the time, and it's just another inside radio thing that happens. A good friend of the program, DeAndre Lou, was covering the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the time. This is when Tom and Gronk were there, the year, and he just wasn't looking. He was looking skinny and out of shape and whatever. And I talked to her and I said, look, I said, it's totally off the record. I said, but keep your ears open. I said, there's stuff going on with him and Giselle, and that's all I really can say. Is she goes, and of course she would never, she would never betray me or anything like that. She's a great reporter now for the Tampa Bay Lightning, great hockey girl. But it was something that, and then when it happened, not too long afterwards, when all the shit hit the fan, she texted me. She's like, she goes, you called it. She goes, you were right on with this one. I said, yeah, the dirt's going to come out now. She said, because she was dating that guy for a while, and that's why he was so devastated and looked so horrible his last year with Tampa, even though they nearly got back to the Super Bowl again. But that's kind of crap that happens a little bit. There's other stuff I could tell you. Everybody knows, or if you don't know, was when Ted Nolan was coaching the Buffalo Sabres back in the day, and this has been documented, so I'm not speaking out of turn. It was like everybody had a pineapple, upside down pineapple. It was like going to the Villages. Everybody would sleep with everybody else's wives. It was a thing for the Buffalo Sabres.
Good Lord.
Oh yeah, it's well documented. It's a huge thing. And that kind of stuff goes on in sports more than you think. Crazy stuff like that. Anyway, there you go. I don't think there's anything in this business I really haven't seen in 38 and a half years. I think, Angel, I've seen and I've heard it all. There's not much more. I don't think that can happen. By the way, the Olympic ceremonies begin tonight.
Sure does. Yep.
Yeah.
Even though it's already Saturday there, but yeah, it starts tonight.
Well, no, it's only Saturday. It's only 6 hour difference.
Oh, we'll call it Saturday.
Well, it's late. It's Friday afternoon.
Okay. We'll do that way. No, but I want to see this. I think it's going to be really good. I'm glad that Italy is the host nation for it. I think it's going to be really good for them. Not that they already don't have millions upon millions of visitors, but I think it's going to be really good. I can't wait to see the Winter Olympics. And even though I know some people aren't, I actually like the figure skating when you have the couples competition. Yeah, and I think people can call me whatever they want, but I really like it because that's very, very competitive.
You like what you like. I mean, I still, outside of the hockey team, I don't really care about anything else. I do like watching. I like watching the skiing, the long jump. And I don't like watching slalom skiing. I like watching the downhill. I like when they fly over these mountains and all that stuff. The rest of it, if I catch a little bit here, a little bit there, depending on how many gazillion stations? Who's got it this year? ABC, NBC, whatever. They all have different outlets or a bunch of different. So I don't know, and the time difference. Well, I mean, I watch a hockey team, and that's about it for the most part. But yeah, you like what you like. People love curling.
Yeah,
people love curling. I said I've tried it. Almost broke my head, busted my head open. I was a lot heavier then, but it was that was something that went viral. That video.
Did you fall backwards?
No, frontwards, and I was sweeping and trying to, and I went ass over tea kettle and almost hit my head on the stone.
Ooh,
that would have been lights out for Pete. That would have been gone.
Jeez,
100 people up in the stands looking, and I deserved it. I deserved it because I opened my big fat mouth and said it wasn't a difficult sport, and then not only did I toss the stone, as I say? Is that what it is? Where you have to try to straddle your leg, which I think I pulled my groin doing that too, and then letting it go, which I did okay at that a couple times. But then running down the ice with special cleats that I had on sweeping, that did not go well. that did not go well. Anyway, it's out there on video for those of you. All right, a couple more cuts here, Angel, before we get going here. Christian Gonzalez, defensive coordinator Terrell Williams.
Yeah, big team is a lot. He means a lot. to this team, especially this defense. You know, we want to go out there and, you know, just play for him. You know, he's around, he's in the building, he's in meetings. So it's so nice to see his face, to see his smile, see that he's doing good. So, yeah, we just get to go out there as a defense and play for him.
Yeah, and now the good news is he's cancer-free, and Zach Kerr has been basically defensive coordinator all year, despite what Stephen A. said a couple of weeks ago. Did not know that Zach Kerr was the defensive coordinator most of the year. He beat because he made a fool out of himself by talking about Terrell Williams and just. Not that he didn't know he had cancer, but he still thought he did not know who Zach Kerr was. Here is Harold Landry on Mr. Kerr.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm super happy for Zach. You know, he thinks I'm joking or like I'm being sarcastic when I tell him like I'm proud of him or he's doing some good. But nah, he's a natural leader. Like when he stands in front of the room and he talks, like it just seems natural to him, which is hard to do, to stand in front of a group of men and to get them to believe, hey, this is what we have to do this week to have success. But he does it. I think it's natural for him, and you know, I'm happy that he's having all this success.
All right, and finally, Angel, last one here, Hunter Henry, Patriots tight end, who I think is going to have a very good game. The one thing about Seattle, they play more nickel coverage than any team in the league, and they're going to have to change it up because Drake May will pick them apart like that. He gets rid of the ball very quickly, despite all the sacks and everything else. The sacks don't bother me. Just hold on to the football. I think when he needs to use his legs, it's kind of like an oxymoron there, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take off 6 or 7 times if need be, and that's fine. That's going to open things up anyway. So here is Hunter Henry on the moment he believed the Patriots could win the whole thing.
I think a turning point for us was definitely in Buffalo. That helped things, you know, going into Buffalo and getting a big win. I feel like we really kind of came together as a team. You know, we played solid, good enough, obviously, and then came out with a tight win in a hostile environment. I think that we really kind of saw something like, all right, let's just start stacking some wins here.
All right, Angel, that's going to do it. I know you got to get out here. Thanks so much for doing this. I want to thank everybody for checking us out. Enjoy the Super Bowl. You all do yourselves a favor. Don't watch ESPN and don't watch NFL Network, because you will not. They just focus on the wrong crap. You will not hear anything about the Patriots defense, and all you're going to hear about the Patriots offense is how they've struggled against the top 3 defenses that they played so far. They've ignored the regular season completely. They all think that the Patriots, or a lot of them, are going to lose by a touchdown or more. Ain't going to happen. Patriots 27-24 over Seattle. And Angel, your final prediction was 31-14.
Patriots.
Anything else going on in the network today?
No, not today. Pretty quiet day as far as the day itself, but nope, not too much going up. And then obviously we have the ARCA Menard Series race coming up next weekend. That's going to be great. And then following by the Daytona 500, the Super Bowl of NASCAR on Sunday. So that's what's
Where will you be watching the game?
I don't know. I'm waiting to see. I think I'm going to sneak into your place and then jump in your trunk and then hop over to Marie's house for the drone show.
We're getting about 20 people. It's going to be, and all good football fans, so it's going to be a blast. I cannot wait. It's going to be in the 70s. 70s during the day, at kick around 70. Halftime, I saw this morning on the local news down here in Southwest Florida, it'll be about 68 degrees at halftime around 8 o'clock, and then I'll be reheating or re-eating and smoking a nice cigar rather than watching the halftime show. Anyway, and I don't watch any halftime show. It doesn't matter who it is. I may see a minute here, a minute there. Anyway, Angel, we'll do this again probably next week at some point. Not sure when. You will, as usual, have my 1 day or 2 day notice if you can do it. But thank you for everything.
Yep.
And hanging out. And we'll see you next week. I think at some point, although it might be 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since we did this.
Yeah.
Right? It was 2 weeks ago. It was the 23rd. So I told you I can do it when I can do it. It was always a blast. Thanks, everybody, for checking us out here in the Coastal Sports Digital Network across the awesome video and audio platform. Until next time, see you guys. Love you guys. Patriots 27-24. Sorry, ESPN and NFL Network. Focus more on the Patriots offense and defense and not what happened and cherry pick what you're going to talk about. Ridiculous. Love you guys. Talk soon. Bye.
Occupy my mind, my mind.